Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to do a demo between 3 different colored pencils that are watercolor pencils. I want to see how staggeringly different they are as they perform together. So I have with me the Prismacolor watercolor pencil, the Caran d'Ache Supercolor 2 soft watercolor pencil, and the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle watercolor pencil. They are all different price points. I will link things, I will talk about things. This is a Stillman Burn Epsilon with Isograph and Posca ink on it. I use this for demos in my videos. So let's get started. I have the Faber-Castell Click and Go cup. I have the Winsor Newton Cotman. This is one of their watercolor brushes. And I'm going to draw with these and chat about these. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's do that. Okay, we are all zoomed in, and I am just going to initially, I have prices, I have notes, I have all kinds of things, but I am going to get this set up in a way that makes talking easiest. So we will start with the Prismacolor. This is the Peacock Blue. I tried to find blues that were similar. Yeah, this set belongs to my youngest daughter. She has the 36 set. I will throw up a picture. It retails for $44 on Blick. Well, that's not bad at all, actually. But you can find it on Amazon for $33. Their smallest set is 12. It retails for about $16. I'm doing this in US dollar, in case you're curious. I will link a currency converter. You cannot buy these as singletons, so that is something to be mindful of. I guess I'm doing a right eye, aren't I? If you wanted to just sort of try one and see how it performed. Okay, that was really smooth and waxy. I really like that. Okay, this is one of mine. This is Cobalt Blue. It has a star system for light fastness. You can buy these individually. They retail for $2.56 individually. A set of 12 is about $22 versus this was about $16. And then the largest set is 120. So they have a lot of colors. And that retails for $300. Okay, this is not as smooth. It's scratchier. But you can see I got close. I got close with the colors here. This just doesn't feel as nice to put down. So the other one's definitely more waxy, which is interesting to learn. So that's why we're doing this. We're gonna learn together. Okay, this is the third one. This is considered the highest, the artist grade quality, the echelon of all of it. This is Ice Blue. This is a Museum Aquarelle. These retail for $3.84 a piece. You can see this is 4 stars out of 5 for a light fast rating. A set of 12 retails for $33, again, versus 22 versus 16. And the largest set is 76, so they don't have the largest quantity, and that retails for $175. Oh yeah, I got real close matching these colors, didn't I? Okay. You know, I hate to say it. I really do, but I think for this specific color, the Prismacolor was the softest to lay down. I don't know that it'll be the most opaque with opacity, but yeah. Okay, let's add some water to these as they roll away. Okay. I don't have a lot of the Museum Aquarelle, so I can only compare the blues. And then I have some purples that we will do next. So this is really nice. This is really nice. Okay. And I'm just oversaturating it using way too much color. I just want to see how they perform. This color is a bit more vibrant. So it may lay down scratchier, but it's brighter. And I know it looks negligible. It looks really tiny on the screen. It's really tiny in person too. Okay. This is just a scotch darker, so we'll have to keep that in mind. This is heavily pigmented. These are heavily pigmented colors. So from here, do you need to buy the top artist grade quality? Again, I would say it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing gifts or commissions, or you want to get into art in a professional capacity, I would go for things that have a light fast rating. If you're just wanting to do things in sketchbooks as a hobby, as fun, maybe you do gifts like birthday cards or crafting, things like that. So far that looks nice. I would go for the most budget. Now let's do this again, but with purple. Now I don't think these purples are as close a match as I could get with the blues, but again, I don't have the largest selection. So what we have is a violet blue in Prismacolor. We have violet in Supercolor. Oh gosh, I think this is like violet purplish or something. I'll throw up the name. It's completely wiped off. As you can see, I have them all lined up. So I've definitely used the Museum Aquarelle the most, which is why a lot of this stuff is printed off. But my daughter's used these several times. She's never sharpened them. So she's had these for about, I want to say, a year. But again, this is the thing that I think people should talk about when talking about watercolor pencils, is that if you own a really nice set, I kind of want to keep that in here. If you own a really nice set of watercolors, of pans, of tubes, like if you have artist grade watercolors, or you have a really nice student grade, maybe you have the Winsor Newton Cotman and that's all you really need, and it's a really nice set. I don't think that owning watercolor pencils is completely necessary. I think that's kind of redundant. Again, I edge towards the side of the low-buy art supply, as I've been doing that for years. So doubling up on supplies you don't necessarily need or something that can do double duty, that acts as the same product. I don't know that you need all of it. Now, if you are into illustration and you've never really done lots of watercolor, but yeah, this is more scratchy. The Supercolor is definitely scratchy. And you can see it's a totally different purple. I apologize. Again, this is the closest I could get with the sets I have. I only have the 12 of the Supercolor, and I only own 4 of the Aquarelle. If you're into illustration and you don't own any watercolors, and you kind of want to bridge that gap and sort of get a feel for it, watercolor pencils would be a nice way to do that. Or if you constantly travel or work outside and you want a way to move around with things without stuff being too wet, or waiting for pans to dry, or cleaning up messy tubes that are leaking, again, these colors are so vastly different. I think there's just more wax or oil in the Prismacolor that just have them lay down so smooth. The other question is, if you own like colored pencils, would you use these as plain colored pencils? Like, instead of buying a colored pencil set, would you buy a watercolor pencil set and then have it do double duty? And my answer to that is no, depending on what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, these are vastly different colors of purple. If you are, again, trying to carve out a niche with a medium, or you want to get serious and you want to grab people's attention, if you want to be an illustrator, if you want to be an artist, I would say owning a really nice set of watercolor pencils or just regular colored pencils is paramount. I would never do a 3-hour illustration with watercolor pencils and then not wet it. Like, that is the whole point of having watercolor pencils, is to add water to them and get that really rich watercolor look. Like, that's the point and purpose of these. It's not to leave them as colored pencil. So the blending isn't as smooth. Oops, I got some color in there. It's just not. It's not the same. So using like colored pencil techniques of burnishing and making sure you don't see any white in the background and really honing in on that illustration skill, I wouldn't use these for that. You can see these are very different purples. Like they don't even compare. I would say that the Prismacolor don't blend out as well, as smoothly. You can see more of the harsh lines with the Prismacolor. And that's probably just price point. Like I can scrub and scrub and scrub and scrub. Okay. I'll do that with this one too. You have to work it a little more, I think. You see some of the lines. But honestly, gosh. Oh, this is why I don't have any sponsors or affiliate links or anything. I'm not brand loyal. I'm not biased. So this is just going to be really, really harsh. Go with the Prismacolor. Honestly, for the price point and for how it lays down and how vibrant it is and all the things, it's really, really nice. It's just a really smooth colored pencil that accepts that's a watercolor pencil. It's just really, really nice. They found a formula that is fantastic. Definitely recommend. Now, again, if you want to go into commissions, if you're doing things where you're handing this to somebody, I would check light fastness. I am not sure how light fast these are. I'll throw up some research as I edit this video. I would lean towards colored pencils that have light fast information on them, so you know what you're getting. This is only 3 stars out of 5. Again, putting things behind glass, keeping them out of direct light is a really great way to protect all art. I've done art with Crayola markers on watercolor paper because they're water soluble and put it behind glass for, gosh, it's been almost 7 years and it hasn't faded. So if you protect things, you know, you don't have to worry too much about it. But honestly, this is a really great set of the 2 colors I used. Now, let's see. Here's her tin. And most of these aren't sharp at all. Like they're just not. And these ones are kind of similar. So what do we have here? This is blue. Oh gosh. Go Gadget eyeballs. Non-photo blue. Okay, so non-photo blue is something you can write and highlight with, but when you go to Xerox it, it doesn't show up at all. And then this one is the 3510. And I'll throw up the name. So I'm just going to, yeah, it's really waxy. But I'm not getting, it just doesn't perform the same as standard colored pencils because they're not meant to. So I would still lean towards, I really, really, really like my Faber-Castell Polychromos. Now, and this sounds a little scratchier because it is. It just doesn't have the same quantity of wax or oil in it. All right. And if texture and sound and feeling, if you are sensitive, you know who you are. If you're sensitive to how things lay down or how things sound or how things feel, like you just don't tend to create with products that are scratchy or patchy. Like you buy them, you own them, you recognize that they're nice. But if you don't like how they lay down, like it's not an enjoyable experience to you, so you don't pick them up and use them all the time, then keep this video and demonstration in mind. Okay. And I blend it out. The blend out is really nice on both. So yeah, gosh. I like these a lot. Good job, Prismacolor 36 set. And these go on sale. Like Amazon puts these on sale once in a while. So definitely check around, check for deals. The only downside of these would be that the largest set is 36. But if you want to spin it into a positive, layering and getting good at color theory and color matching and blending, it could force you into that versus, you know, buying the super color set with 120 colors. You never really get good at trying to make colors if you always have so many options to choose from. And then the other downside would be that you can't buy them individually. And that's kind of a bummer because if you lean heavily on one, you'd have to buy a set of 12 to replace it. Let me check and see if I can look something up real quick. Okay, so according to Google, it says they are known for their strong light fastness, meaning the colors are designed to resist fading over time. ASTM light fast rating. Prismacolor pencils have the highest ASTM approved light fast ratings. These pencils are non-toxic. Good job. So we learned something today. I learned something today. These are awesome. These are an awesome little set. So if you're on a limited income, or you're doing a low-buy art supply, or you're currently doing a no-buy and you're thinking about adding something like this to the supplies and mediums you already own, wait till your no-buy is over, watch prices, check coupons. I'm not sure if Michaels carries these, but they do offer 40% coupons once in a while, and that would be a great deal as well. So I hope this video helped. I hope it gave you some ideas. I definitely learned something myself. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.